these clowns out here was gonna go out there and make videos.
I just wanna go home. I just wanna be home.
Mase, say names.
Yeah, security crying behind the car.
Damn.
People look at me as being bad boy security.
Yeah, this blanket. You're like, what?
Oh, Gene Deal was crying for the blanket. Gene Deal was this, that, and the Gene Deal was this, that, and the third.
But he there for security.
What you think I'm gonna be doing when you doing all that to Gene Deal? I bet you really don't wanna know.
Just can't tell me nothing. That's why when be talking tough, I said, man, just save it. I done seen all that. Nigga said he wanna just go home.
Oh,
and be in this blanket. You're like, what?
But he there for security.
I'm never gonna be in this position.
I just want to go home and
I just want to be under my blanket. Oh, we gotta get out of here. God, you get me out of here. I'm never fooling with these niggas.
Things just got real in hip-hop, and fans are scrambling to figure out what's really going on. Gene Deal, the former bodyguard who stood next to Diddy during the wildest, most dangerous years of Bad Boy Records, just sent out a message. And this one wasn't casual, wasn't playful, and definitely wasn't for clicks. It was aimed directly at Mase and Camron, the Harlem legends behind the viral talk show It Is What It Is. But this wasn't some random internet rant. Gene's message felt like a warning straight out of a gangster film. Serious tone, heavy words, and an energy fans say they've never seen from him before. It all kicked off after a clip from It Is What It Is went viral. Mase and Cam joking about the old school rap industry, dropping names like Diddy, Gene Deal, and other bad boy figures. The audience laughed, but those jokes, they cut deep for the people who lived through that era, especially Gene. See, Gene isn't just another YouTube personality. He was physically there when some of the biggest scandals in hip-hop history unfolded. He's spoken openly about the murders of Tupac and Biggie, Diddy's private dealings, and what he calls the dark side of fame. So when he saw Mase and Cam laughing about moments that left scars on real people, he took it personally, very personally.
Trying to picture your facial reaction to I just want to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
If my security holding me down in Cali, it's somebody, the #1 rapper in the world get killed, you're telling you, I just need to want to go home. And the second top artist in the world, which is Mase, about to be #1. Said, that's what I'm saying, I wonder his face, because I'm like, if y'all let do that to Big, I don't stand a chance.
A few nights later, John went live. No jokes, no smile, just a cold, focused stare. And then he said, y'all think this is a game, but the streets ain't forgotten nothing. Tell them boys they better move careful. This industry eats people alive, especially the ones who think they untouchable. That single statement detonated the internet. Nobody could tell whether he was warning them out of concern or hinting at something darker. The word careful had people replaying the clip over and over, trying to decode what he really meant. Blogs immediately jumped in with headlines like, Gene Deal sends chilling message to Mase and Camron, stop talking before it's too late. Gene Warren's comment sections flooded with theories. Fans were saying, he knows something we don't. This feels like a threat, not advice. Bad boy ghosts still haunting people. And then it escalated. Later that same night, Gene doubled down. Calm voice, steady tone, no emotion. Them Harlem boys need to chill before they end up in the same stories they laughing about. That line froze everyone watching. It wasn't loud. It wasn't angry. It was controlled, too controlled. And that made it 10 times scarier.
If you gonna say something, be man and motherfucking enough to name the name.
Gotcha.
When I tell a motherfucking story, Rex, I tell it with the name.
Everybody trying to go viral. Everybody trying to go viral. Everybody trying to go viral out here.
Yeah.
Now the content creators who went out there and they start running off by their mouth, trying to make airways and trying to make a show. Here go a grown-ass man, Mase and Camron, made suggestions to bad boy security. These clowns out here was gonna go out there and make videos. When you do stuff like that, you gotta know right now that people look at me as being bad boy security. You gotta be clear. As soon as that drop, you got 5 or 6 out there. Oh, Gene Deal was crying for the blanket. Gene Deal was this, that, and the Gene Deal was this, that, and the third. You already know, Mase. When you doing all that stuff to Gene Deal, What do Gene Deal supposed to be doing while you're doing all that? I bet you really don't want to know. What you think I'm going to be doing when you doing all that to Gene Deal? They can play if they want to, but if they know what I know, they better find somebody else to play with. I never had to tell Big them Keep it a buck. I never had to tell Big them I told Big to his face, if you go to this party tonight, one of y'all gonna die. Some people gonna die if you go to this party tonight.
The moment that clip hit social media, everything exploded. Fans started tagging Mase and Camron nonstop, demanding a response. Was this beef? Was it serious? Were they scared? Everyone wanted to know what the Harlem duo would say. At first, Mase and Cam brushed it off. On the next episode of It Is What It Is, they joked about Gene Deal's ominous warning. Cam laughed, saying, "Man, Gene acting like we in a mob movie," Mase jumped in with. "If we gotta watch our backs for talking, guess we famous for real then." The studio cracked up. But online, nobody was laughing. Fans felt something darker underneath the jokes, like the tension wasn't going away. And Gene Deal definitely wasn't amused. In another live stream, Gene fired back, this time with real heat. "You Harlem boys always playing. You think being on camera protects you? Cameras don't save people. Ask the ones who not here no more." That line shut the internet down. The energy shifted instantly. Jean began talking about how, back in the 90s, people disappeared for saying the wrong thing, and hinted that the industry hasn't changed as much as people like to think. He didn't say any names, but everyone knew exactly who he was referencing. Because here's the truth, Gene Deal's words carry weight. This is the same man who claims he witnessed key moments tied to Biggie's murder. The same man who says he was followed for what he knew. The same man who once said, "The truth got bodies attached to it." So when he sends out warnings, people stop scrolling and pay attention. Fans started going full detective mode, digging up old interviews, connecting timelines, and revisiting Mase's long, messy history with Diddy, bad contracts, missing royalties, disappearing from music, returning as a pastor, and calling out Bad Boy for exploiting artists. But now, with Gene Deal jumping into the conversation, it doesn't feel like old drama anymore. It feels like old wounds reopening with danger attached.
If you want to say something, Mase, tell us why you didn't go. Mase, why you didn't go to the party? Mase, why you didn't go to the party?
Party? Because I was in a hotel with Brandy.
Why you didn't go? Brandy told you told me that Brandy told you, let's go to the party. Why you didn't go to the party?
I didn't go to the party because all y'all seem like snakes. And I'm not going to be
So Mase, who told you? Mase, didn't I tell you? Listen to him, Mase. Let's keep it 100. When you was riding around.
Let me answer.
Go ahead.
Let me answer the question. You guys went to security. If somebody shot the biggest rapper in the world, why y'all didn't shoot back? Y'all had guns?
Mase, let me ask you something. I'm gonna get to that. Mase, one question. When you was riding around Cali with Stevie J, didn't I pull you to the side and say, what the fuck is you doing in a drop top Benz riding around with Stevie J around Cali? Did I say that to you? Mase? That's some
Even Camron, usually the clown of the crew, started looking uneasy once fans began tagging him in every Gene Deal clip. On a later episode, he finally addressed it, saying, "We not scared, but we not dumb either. We from Harlem. We know what time it is, and that's when it hit people." This wasn't just YouTube banter anymore. There was real tension brewing, real history underneath the jokes. It became clear that this wasn't a clash between influencers and old-school rappers. It was a collision between two eras. The old guard that lived through the darkest days of hip-hop, and the new wave who treat those days like punchlines. Gene wasn't having any of it. On a live stream, he said, "These new media dudes don't know what kind of doors they opening. They laughing. But them jokes come with curses." That line went viral instantly. Suddenly the internet wasn't just entertained, they were spooked. Because Gene wasn't talking like a man trying to start beef, he was talking like a man trying to prevent history from repeating itself. Almost like he wasn't warning Mase and Cam out of anger, but out of experience.
In a hotel with a young lady.
And when you heard this information, what was your next actions?
My next actions? After what?
When you heard Biggie died, did you stay in your hotel room? Did you leave out? Did you want to go back to New York?
I actually was trapped in a hotel.
Now I want to ask a question. What do you mean trapped?
It was about probably like 70 or so bloods in the hallway. I couldn't even leave my room.
How'd you get out?
One of the guys.
Why would it be 70 bloods in your hallway after Biggie Smalls died?
Actually, after Big got killed, they was probably looking for more bad boy artists. And I couldn't even leave the room till Gene Deal, the officer had to come get me.
By now, everyone in hip-hop media was talking about the situation. Podcasts, reaction channels, former rappers, everybody had an opinion. Some said Gene was overreacting. Others said he was speaking facts. One influencer tweeted, "Gene Deal might sound paranoid, but hip-hop history proves he ain't lying. That tweet blew up because deep down, fans know the truth. Hip-hop has a long, dark shadow behind it. Unsolved murders, silent cover-ups, people who said too much suddenly going quiet." Gene's warning didn't come from nowhere, but the way he delivered it, that made it personal. In one video, Gene looked straight into the camera and said, "Mase, you know I'm not lying. You was there. You saw what happened when certain people crossed that man. Everyone assumed that man meant Diddy." And when Gene said it, his voice cracked, like he wasn't remembering a rumor, but a moment. Right there, the tone shifted. This wasn't beef. This was survival. Fans began commenting, "He's not threatening them, he's warning them." And it hit Mase even harder, because he's the one who's been trying to expose Diddy for years. Remember when he did that explosive interview about freeing the souls of artists trapped in bad contracts? Yeah, exactly the kind of talk Gene was referencing. Gene said, "The people who talk about freeing souls usually end up losing theirs." That line gave everyone chills. Cam tried to play it cool on the show. "I love Gene, but I don't like when old heads make things sound spooky. We comedians with mics, not gangsters with guns." But even through the jokes, fans could see the shift. Fewer laughs, more long pauses, more nervous glances. Even Mase seemed more careful, like he was thinking twice before saying another Diddy punchline. Online, people started debating, was Gene trying to protect them or trying to silence them? Some say he's acting like an older brother saying, "Watch your back." Others think he's sending a message on behalf of Diddy to keep their mouths shut. Either way, it feels eerie, because Gene Deal isn't some blogger chasing clicks. He's someone who's seen real violence in the shadows of the music world. This isn't celebrity drama. This is about legacy, power, secrets, and the unspoken rule everyone in hip-hop knows. When you start talking about the wrong people, somebody always comes knocking.
He's trying to divert that whole conversation and make it seem like, "So, Gene, why you didn't shoot?" Listen to me. It wasn't because Big wasn't my principal. And he knew the fact that we had blew the light and we was halfway down the block, crossed the light, and then when the first shot went off, our driver took straight off. I'm screaming at our driver because he was told that somebody was pointing a gun at Big and them. He should have just threw the car in reverse. He knew the whole story, my man, because me and him had a conversation on the phone. He the one told me, well, I was in the room with Brandy and Brandy was trying to get me out the room to come to the party. So I felt that was kind of weird. So she said Brandy was calling me trying to get me out the room to come to the party. Well, you was in the room with Brandy. How's she calling you to try to get you out the room to come to the party? You know what I'm saying? This was going through my mind. But Mase knew the whole situation. Mase knew that it's no way possible that I was able, being sideways in the car, because Puff, when I got in the car, Puff had put his seat back. Now I'm sideways in the car like this, and I'm cussing him out like, yo, man, what the f is you doing? Why you got your seat back like this? We hear the shot, pow! Puff put his head down. I go to open the door. Kenny flies, going straight. So he knew the whole story. What I supposed to do? Put my gun out the window and just start shooting like this? When the car had already turned the corner, it came out of parking space. So he knew the story, bruh. He was trying to just divert the attention of, well, why security? So ask security, ask Big security, ask Paul, ask the LAPD. The LAPD officer that was right there, they was right behind. Paul was outside the car. Why didn't they shoot? Why when we turn back around and come down the street, that they way down the block, they coming back when we get back to the car. When we get back to the car, nobody's in Big's car. But Big, Mase knew this. Me and Mase had this conversation. Him and Tone is like this. He knew me and Tone jumped in the car and chased after the guy. We couldn't catch him. He wanted to divert the attention from himself because why didn't you tell Big that these dudes was trying to get at you, bruh? You had that conversation with with Puff, but you ain't had that conversation with Big. Big was your label mate. So people come on to him, why you ain't shoot? Listen to me, bro. At that time, I was young, dumb, and full of cum. Anybody who really knows me know that they ain't got to worry about nothing if it comes to the point where gunplay has to be a part of my security. I'm not going to hesitate because I never bodyguard anybody that I wasn't willing to lay down my life for.
Meanwhile, Jean Deal hasn't backed down at all. On his podcast, he doubled down, saying they can laugh if they want. I sleep good knowing I warned them. The same people they joke about still got pulled. And I don't want to see no young brothers become martyrs for clout. That line hit like a gut punch. And maybe, just maybe, he recognizes that same dangerous pattern forming around Mase and Cam. Online, fans stay divided. Some called Gene a truth teller, one of the last real ones left in an industry built on smoke and mirrors. Others accused him of fear-mongering, inserting himself into viral moments to stay relevant. But regardless of which side people took, one thing was undeniable. The energy around Mase and Cam's show shifted overnight. The jokes got quieter, the tone got heavier, and the audience was watching closely, waiting to see whether they'd clap back again or keep their heads down. Because the deeper this saga went, the clearer it became that this wasn't just internet talk. This was about power, influence, and the unwritten rules of hip-hop, the rules outsiders never see. Gene's message was unmistakable. You can joke, you can talk, but once you cross certain lines, you wake up ghost. And Mase and Cam might have just poked one of the oldest ghosts in the entire Bad Boy legacy. This whole situation proves something hip-hop fans have known for decades. No matter how much time passes, the shadows of that era never really disappear. The more people try to expose it, the louder the warnings echo back. Whether Gene was sending a threat or a prophecy, only time will tell. But one thing is certain, when a man like Gene Deal says move careful, you don't laugh. Because in this industry, one careless word can echo forever.